Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Czech Service Industry Podcast. I am Reyshan Parker, and if you have not yet, please take a chance to go watch my television series, Beyond the Czech Worker Owner Edition, now streaming on Amazon Prime and Fox's Tubi TV. Fox's Tubi TV, it's free TV. Someone give me $1 every time I say that. I have a fantastic guest today. He is an Austrian and Californian multidisciplinary artist, in creative awareness, an educator, an advocate for helping neurodiversity as a superpower. He works on raising awareness for our limitless human potential and comprehending wisdom. He also, in Vienna and the United States, has worked as a consultant and in the restaurant and hospitality industry in order to afford being the artist that he is. He also believes that every human has a drive to meet others by the campfire, share stories and food in order to experience our inclusiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, Michaell Magrutsche. Hi, Michael.
Hi, guys. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I couldn't wait for this talk. I couldn't tell you. I really want to philosophize about hospitality, what it is to be in the service industry, because I think we're forgetting that. We're just looking at the cash and the product. You know, it needs to be Michelin food and a stunning restaurant, and that's it. You know, we have forgotten that is essential archetypal ritual that humans had. You know, you ate in your cave, and then, you know, we built your tribe, and then we ate at the campfire.
And shared it with each other and had the camaraderie. Like, we all played a part in it back then. You know, the meal had to come from
everyone. And we shared, and we shared not only food, but we shared stories, which, you know, people do today too, but they're just unaware of it. See, if you respect going to a restaurant, or, you know, as a ritual, as a ancient old ritual, to share stories, to share food, and to be together and relate to each other, not on a screen like we do now, or on a thing, but tactical with all senses involved.
Right.
I don't think there's another experience that gives you that.
My father used to say that even in a cheers, right? So the reason for cheersing is to involve all five senses, right? So you have the sight of the cheers, you hear the glasses clink together, you're touching the glasses, you feel the vibration of the glass, also the eye contact, right? So you're connecting with another person, and just the whole experience together is actually, in that moment of cheersing with camaraderie together, is in and of itself hitting all of our sentences at the same time and bringing us all together.
And triggering and reminding us. I think it's to remind us of being one, to be inclusive. You know, it's that we're all humans, right? And we bring our dogs or other living beings with us, and it's just experience. And I see something like, also, I see it in my last restaurant. Had two levels. One was the restaurant, the room, the dining room, and the other one was the terrace upstairs. So you walked upstairs a hill and had a beautiful outdoor
patio area.
Patio area, but it was actually a parking lot.
Veranda?
Yeah, it was a parking lot that through COVID we just threw a thing, and I swear to God, 50 degrees. And people wanted to go upstairs. It was 50 degrees and people wanted to go upstairs. And downstairs looked like you were in the Provence in French. It was funny. It was an Italian restaurant, and it worked. And it was downstairs. It was like beautiful. It's like Architectural Digest on steroids. But people chose to be upstairs.
Because we like to be outside.
That's what I'm saying. So it confirmed everything I always said. You know, it's there's something holy in the process. I also, you know, in my last book, I separated art in art creation and the art product, and I see the same because we're talking art. I mean, we're talking creating an experience, you know, and relating, which is also art. So it's all, and when I go through Instagram and see all the super restaurants and all this stuff, and then watch shows and talk to people and go here in the new openings in Southern California, the new open. And I think they're completely missing. For example, you walk in and you're floored by the minimal design of a restaurant. It gets your attention. Yeah. And I'm a minimalist in my art too. So I'm sitting down, but it is not what I want. It's like I get
sterile.
to be, it's sterile. It's not fulfilling, because I think we work in humanity. We're selling actually humanity packaged in food and whatever. And humanity, success is fulfillment. It's like the feeling that you have right after the orgasm. It's not 2 hours afterwards, but right after. It's not the orgasm.
The gratification.
The fulfillment. If you fulfill the world is fine. You are fine. Everything is fine.
We are fed. We are happy. We will live another day.
Exactly. And everybody chases that, because and in systems it chases it. Say, hey, the big lie. It should be sunny every day. And if it's not sunny, we sell you a Ferrari, a pill, or a face job. And then if we buy the Ferrari, the pill, and the face job, we are not happy, after a while. It jolts us a little bit. And on those micro jolts of fulfillment, the whole system of, did you get the new iPhone? Did you get this? Did you get this? Have you been at that place? And it's all those little micro jolts where you could get appreciation from others, ego jolts, whatever. But really is the experience, the fulfillment is when you are in the moment and you sit with somebody. Like I'm fulfilled right now because I'm talking one-to-one and I'm milking that moment, because I say, milk the fulfillment and don't think about other things. I mean, we couldn't, because dialogue forces you to, pay attention to the other person. If it was a group, it was a different thing. But you and I have to communicate. That's why I call it the second superpower after creativity. And then I call the third superpower adaptability, that we adapt to each other. And in restaurants, in hospitality, your third superpower needs to be really, really thing, because you have to adapt constantly, and also be able to dialogue with somebody, and be okay with who you are. Not being an arrogant waiter that only looks how much money he makes. It's just,
you're there for the experience. You're connecting with your guests, and those are the best guests. Like when we waited tables, the guests who are just very, very sterile themselves, right, and just like, do you do your job, take care of me. Or you have the guests that are just super engaging and ask you about your life, and they want to have fun. They want to become your friend, right? And they're usually the best tippers too.
I know. I had the least, if people want to go to, and this is something interesting to look at, for any restaurant person that listens to that, because most people, the arrogant people are far in between, but you remember those. And the most people, 99%, go to a restaurant to engage. I felt, in the last half year, I felt they all came to engage, probably after COVID, 2 more, but because they wanted to just have the human experience. And I say that always with kids, because everybody's so pissed that all the kids are on the iPhone. I said, as long as kids know that they are DNA driven to be inclusive, like what the ritual of food and sitting down at a campfire does, then they would be consciously looking and say, I driven and I use this as a platform to connect, like we're using Zooms right now, right? So it's the difference to say I'm addicted to Zoom, I couldn't live without Zoom, or I'm using Zoom to have a human connection with somebody else. It's not the Zoom that's important, it's the human connection.
And we can have that connection from someone all the way on the other side of the planet now, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, and if we wanted to, we could have lunch together right now. We could have planned this better. We could have made the same thing. We could have tried to follow the same recipe, and we could be sitting here enjoying that same meal together, and which would just heighten our connection as we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We have the same bottle of wine, so we can talk about this, right? Like,
but it's still not like if I would sit with you. I mean, but we are aware of that. A lot of people are not aware of it, And the unawareness of that, you have to have your iPhone, you're putting so much into it, and you're not knowing why you're doing it. I always say you got to be aware. That's why I'm a creativity awareness educator, because you know what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, but be aware what you're doing. So be aware that there's. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, I grew up in Vienna, and my dad had a factory, meat factory like Boar's Head, and so fine meats, and we didn't do anything special or were wealthy or anything, but we always went to France and Italy for food, because you need to know the best thing if you want to supply these people.
Right.
And so we went to Italy, France, to Michelin restaurants. So I knew Michelin since I'm a little kid, the red book, the green book. And I tell my dad, you need to go right there and whatever. And then we experienced all the things, from a just mention to a 2-star, 3-star. I think 1 times 3-star. I was very in the 3-star, but mentioning was good enough. You were mentioned; it was good enough. And
are those books still out there? Or are we just all on TripAdvisor now?
I don't know. It could be we all in a TripAdvisor, because I don't go by. I go because a friend tells me it's a good restaurant. I go only because I don't need that anymore.
The connection to the connection to the connection.
I always trust human more than any system. And Michelin has changed, as you know. I mean, it's not the same that it was. It's very rigorous. But again, it focuses on the food, and it says, "Oh, is that nice ambience?" But what's counting is that both things fit together. It's the waiter, it's the staff, it's a team, the ambience, and the thing. And can you conjure up a fulfilled feeling with all these elements? And I believe, because I was pushed, I started as a boy that cleaned up, and I always rose up to a manager. So I have a leadership quality in me. And also I could never fit in systems because of my dyslexia. So I'm extremely good with people because I had to rely on that. I couldn't rely on being a system navigator, a GM or anything. I couldn't rely on that. I had to.
You're a people person.
A people person, exactly. So, but not by choice. Now by choice. When I grew up, I was forced to do it.
Oh, I mean, that was always. You've given me a great idea for a restaurant now too. Thank you. Fireside. Like, where's the restaurant where it's just like you go and the tables aren't actually tables, right? Maybe just like camping chairs that have like little TV trays or something. Just because people need to set it down.
Yeah. And now it's gone. Now it's gone. That idea. Oh, you have to cut that out.
Hey, if someone steals it from me, it's fine. I'm probably not going to get around to making it, but I'll happily go there.
Yeah. Everybody. Ideas worth nothing. Everybody has ideas. Ideas. Now you have to execute it. It's like talking about love. You can read every book about love. If you have never been in love, these books
don't really know.
Yeah. That's what
you'll recognize. You'll be like, "Oh my God, is this the pain that they talk about? Because this hurts really bad."
Yeah.
I am fluttery. I am so fluttery. Why is this love? What is?
Yeah.
Love is the caring. Love is giving a shit about the other person more than yourself. Love is needing that. Loving having that person around because they just make you make each other feel
exactly
like the best.
You got it. It makes you fulfilled because it lifts you up, but you shouldn't ever look at that as that person makes me. No, it's two energies of two humans.
Together we are.
Together, and you lift me, I lift you, and we both rise. But I'm not dependent on you. And if the moment I say, okay, you have all the power, it's you that I'm in love with, then it's over.
We are in love.
We are in love, and we lift us. And the same is with fulfillment. It's just a feedback loop. Love is a feedback loop that's in you that you are aligned. Fulfillment is a feedback. When does the fulfillment come? After the union, sexual union, you have an orgasm, then the feedback loop. Okay, union is good. It doesn't matter if it's going to work out as a love relationship or not, but that union was good if you feel fulfilled, you know?
Together we shared
Yeah,
this tiramisu. And,
exactly.
and now we have finished the
Yeah.
tiramisu. We share this memory. We shared that time.
Yeah. The
We share
sharing
the
is so,
deliciousness of the tiramisu.
we're sharing stories, we're sharing food, we're sharing experiences because because there's 8 billion people on this planet and everybody has a different thumbprint and everybody has a different DNA. We are so not the same. And we need these places, these meeting places of a restaurant where we actually can say, what can I learn from you? Or not, we don't say that, but it's like, how can I relate? How can I fit into the puzzle of 8 billion people? And with your friends, you make your puzzle greater when you are,
We
when
learn
you are with, yeah.
we learn things that we're not necessarily, inept to. We pick up little traits from our friends. Maybe they're
Yeah.
better at talking to people, and we pick up on that. And when we're around them, we're better at talking to people too, just because. And they pick
Yeah.
up our traits, and back
Yeah.
and forth. And so together we all become greater individuals. But you can have
And it's so,
the opposite of too many chefs in the kitchen, if you will.
yeah. But I think the kitchen is what I see with kitchen is too many chefs. It's the system. If everybody knows what to do and everybody knows that they're a team and everybody knows that when one I had on Christmas Day, we had the chef for the cold, the cold chef, like salads and desserts. He didn't show up. And a lot of things.
That happens.
But everybody knew what to do, and it was a total enjoying. So the team, what a leader does for a restaurant is, he's not telling them what to do. He's just keeping a balance so the team can do what they do.
Right.
It's not telling them you do only hot dishes. You do only. I told it. It's you balance the team. And you are the balancer. You're constantly a balancer. I'm talking to a guest. I talk to the barman. I'm talking to the server, busboy. Go to kitchen, and my change is always on balancing everything, because balance is the biggest power in nature too. If it's not balanced, it topples. So when you have too much system rigor in it, it's not going to work. And when too much is on the product, when the Michelin dish has to taste exactly like a machine did it every time the same,
mm-hmm.
I think it's a death of an experience, because you feel the energy that the cook cooks and is happy. You feel that energy.
The love that went into their creation.
Absolutely. And then
because everyone gets bored of making the same thing every day.
Exactly.
Even if it is your own creation as a chef, you're like, I don't want to make that today. I want someone to try something new. I want to be able to love what I'm doing and be experimental and be an artist, right? And express my art to my customers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And the thing is, my quick question is, because we had to close this restaurant that I worked with, and I've never worked in a restaurant that was so. Every restaurant I worked before would have loved to have that. The customers were totally great. I called 200 customers afterwards when we closed. Cancel reservations and talk to them. Not one said, "Oh, why are you calling me?" and hung up, or what? Okay. And people have left a message.
Why are you closing?
Why?
You're looking so forward to
every
it.
restaurant would lick their fingers to have that. The team, I love to go to the job every day. There was not a day I didn't love to go to the job. The team loved each other. It was so, and it was super small stuff and we didn't get paid really, extraordinary or something. So it was really, it was a thing of love, the whole thing. And
so what happened, if you don't mind me asking?
Financially, it didn't work out financially, and we didn't splurge or anything. See, systems try to condition you that you need more. You need, there's some financial. You can always, but then you lose the quality. So we would need to have 10 covers more a day,
And
we
you would have
would
done
break
it?
even. We would break even, but then we wouldn't have a cook. We need to get another cook because the cook does already 100 covers.
Was it just rent? Is it rent and just the overhead of the brick and mortar that really?
No, rent is, it's 10 grand or something. It wasn't the rent. It was the juggling of which every restaurant is, because this is the second time I experienced as when they raise the rent or
The product
when
goes
it
up,
doesn't work.
inflation,
Yeah, whatever.
right?
And the food prices go up, and so, but it was priced right because I could tell. I mean, and I talked to financial, and I'll say right. The problem was if I get 10 dishes more, which was possible. I just I juggled the
Just to break
reservation.
even.
Just to break even, and then if I do that, then have to get another job, another chef. I can't do it with one chef.
No.
I mean, one chef,
Right.
100
So you
covers
couldn't
is a lot.
make the
I
balance
couldn't
work.
balance. I couldn't have balance. No,
Right.
I couldn't. And it wasn't like somebody where the family worked in the restaurant. So, but then it's not a business. Why? And I'm saying,
because you still have to make money at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. And I say, if you can't do that, and I thought it was the absolute right decision that it closed, because I said, if you can't do it, we do everything on this business is satisfactory from everyone. Best reviews, best thing. I've never worked in a restaurant that was so fulfilling, but it didn't work out financially. And I'm questioning now, of course, everybody then blames California for it and the labor costs and all that stuff. But why do we a business in the first place? To just break even? And I see that in a lot of things with artists too,
Mm-hmm.
They give stuff away. Oh, we have a charity, give stuff away. I mean, I've never seen more art given away to nonprofits, and nothing came out of it. My friend.
Are they at least writing it off? Like, we're going to call
well,
that painting.
if you don't have income, you can't write anything off.
Yeah.
So 97% of artists are on
The
the
artist
poverty
dilemma.
level. Yeah. Now, on the poverty level, because they see the magic. It's like a cook. If you love to cook, you love the cook so much, and you abuse yourself and everything else just to have that feeling of creation. And what my friend got 100 grand in 10 years for a charity, for a very famous charity. So for a very famous.
I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to take your word for it.
And 100 grand for that charity. They haven't got, and they promised him, we give you a job, making a T-shirt and blah, 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 blah. Never got anything. And I think he's perhaps but that's what we all do. And we have to say, what is really about? Is it about the bottom line, or is it about the experience? And if we don't value the experience, look at the food industry. We work more that the product is perfect and the designer of the restaurant gets unbelievably paid than the people that actually are the human connection of that place. And by the way, in the restaurant business, it should be an extension of you. Your restaurant should be an extension of you. Where is that?
I mean, so like chef owners, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, and for the most part, I feel like that's their philosophy is that, where they're serving themselves on a plate. This is me on a plate. Everything in here is representative of me, my culture, who I am, the lessons I've learned throughout the years, the techniques I've learned throughout the years. And this is basically all the food knowledge that I have gained throughout my life. And I've placed it on this plate for you to experience.
Exactly.
And
100%.
So you get that, and particularly nowadays, because we have so many more like farm to table restaurants, right? So the menu's changing every day, if not at least every week, or at least every season. So they get to stay entertained. They get to be artists at least every 3 months, and the product that they're bringing in is more diverse because they're relying on what is actually available at the time of the season, what they can actually get locally, and so we get to those restaurants themselves. They don't have to be Michelin star restaurants. They're just sometimes just a mom and pop shop that that is
Yeah.
doing it right, that really wants that local connection to their farmers markets, to their farmers, to their local meat producers and purveyors, and kind of staying away from the corporate entities that, you can have anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
And that allows you to have that connection. The chefs, they're usually not that big of restaurants.
But it's all still systemic. It's still systemic. It's a systemic adapting to what's systemic available food. If you're a vegan restaurant, you go for, do that. So the product is always the most important, and the product shouldn't be the most important in a restaurant. It's not about the product. It's about the fulfillment that your essence creates. There's a welcoming, even you're not designed, your background isn't designed or anything, but there's a welcoming feeling of you.
Would you say that you could almost call a restaurant like an installation, like an art installation itself?
It's an installation,
with
it's an experience.
Being at the heart of the kitchen.
Hey,
the
come
chef.
all to me. The old pop things,
like
when
this.
you had when you have somebody that, and look how they promote it on Instagram, everything. It's all about the product.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shit store. You're just like, you walk in a store and get this unbelievable sandwich. That's a way to do it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, but you miss all the experience of what it is to break bread. If you have that in mind, say, listen, we're just here to fill your belly the best we can. But that's not a restaurant. That's not hospitality. Hospitality is hospital. Come here. Welcome. We are happy to be here. We don't need to have 3 rotations, and the covers. But you are forced by systems to do these rotations. And that's what I think kills everybody. It kills the human experience, the memories that you have, because all the people say, oh my God, I had such good memories because this restaurant was 30 years old. I had so many memories from that. And you really, when I called these 200 people, I really got the feedback that all I always preach was 100% correct. 100%. 100%.
What were they saying?
If you look at it on a human aspect, what is supposed to be an art? What is art supposed to be? I said the art product is the conversation that you have from the inspiration on. There's a conversation going on between your non-physical and the physical. And the product is that conversation. The clearer your conversation is, the more you converse with your unseen. I'm not saying spirit. This is not spirit. This is like when you sleep, you're not here, right?
Right.
So you have a conversation, you have an inspiration. I want to make a restaurant, a podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And then you create it, which is an expansion of you. But it's also an expansion of your non-physical.
Because you thought about it.
You thought about it.
Brought it into reality.
Exactly. And you're making it physical. The clearer your thing is, your conversation, the clearer the food is for me, because we're all interconnected. So when you have a clear conversation and don't just throw everything in a thing, and it might start like that. You throw everything in, and then you select that out and say, oh, I'm just taking carrots and this. And you get, and I get the same. And then you refine it. This is about refining anything: the iPhone, the food, the whatever. But
Your
it's
order
the
at a
process.
restaurant.
But it's the process is the most important. And
looking
if
at the menu, right? Getting the menu, like look, now you're rolling it over,
everything. And if
you're putting it all together, imagining it in your mind.
Yeah. And then I say, Reyshan, look at this. I had this idea. I was dreaming about this or whatever. Or I ate this there. Couldn't we do this in a twist like that? Mm-hmm. And it's like creating. And if the team has that energy, that we constantly tweaking, we are not ever ending. It's not a finished thing. Okay, this is how you, ring up a customer. This is how you be to a customer. That's like saying, you have to be to every customer the same, which is the completely wrong thing. And also, this is something I really want to give all your viewers. The customer is not always right. The customer is not the king. It's not the king. The customer doesn't even know what he wants. Okay?
Okay.
And the reason why is this. If your team is working in harmony in your restaurant, the customer feels like a king. See, that's a misunderstanding that systems twisted to get you, more efficient, less, harder work, blah, blah, blah. Because there's no lazy nature. You need time to recuperate, to think about it, to digest what you have talked about the team with and whatever.
Let your creativity recharge.
Creativity, yes, that's what I'm saying. It's all about creativity. That's why it is the number one superpower. And when you're done and say, it's not about the product, what's out. It's not about the likes that I have. It's what I can create with you right now. I'm doing it right now with you. We haven't talked about it. I haven't thought about it. I wasn't prepared for this at all. I didn't want to look at your stuff because it would take the moment out of it. I would just copy something that I just looked at your page, boom, and say, oh, the guy's I didn't read anything. I just looked, the guy's an artist. So I will have no problem with him to talk to.
I mean, when you first said that, I was like, yeah, I know I don't consider myself an artist, but I do kind of live like one. So
no, you are an artist because artist is deemed by, art wants nothing else to be created. Even if it's the worst food or the worst painting, it wants to just be created. Mm-hmm. And that way it's a system that deems you a Michelin artist, that deems you to be an artist as a painter, a singer, or whatever. They give you accolades, rewards, system rewards. It has nothing to do with the interaction. You could be the system king and be the biggest asshole and drag down millions of people. I mean, look at this. Look at this. The head of Russia. I mean, they kill people. A system submitting to a system. So
and breaking the system.
Yeah, it's about talking to each other. It's about communicating to each other. And like in my restaurant, everybody is a superstar. From the dishwasher to the busboy, everybody is a superstar. It is the best dishwasher that you can get. It's the best busboy that you can get. And I make them feel like that because not to manipulate them, but to get the maximum out of. If you want to get the maximum from I think you don't tell him rules. You say you can do that better. I know you can.
I have faith in you. I believe in you. Believe in yourself, and then go home, pat yourself on the back because you did the best job you could possibly do, and you know it.
Absolutely. And you know how often I had they say, "Oh, what about doing this?" and then tasting. And I said, "I don't know," but I'm not saying I don't like it or whatever. I say, I think this is missing. I think, what is if we go in this direction or that direction? I'm not saying this is shit. I would never say that because nothing is shit. Nothing is. It's just the guy is distorted and doesn't know what to put together. But he's not, and I'm not better. I'm just giving him my feedback. My feedback, I might be totally wrong.
But
there's a million people that like. There's a million people that like a cheeseburger from McDonald's. I don't. I like the quarter pounder, but I don't like the cheeseburger, So everybody is unique and you need to always, and by the way, you need to be as a leader, you need to be the most self-aware person in the whole thing.
Yep.
You need to be, there should be, nobody must be more self-aware than you.
You're not a boss, you're a leader.
A leader. And you lead by example. You lead by example, not because I'm going to fold the towel. That has nothing to do. But you are what you be mm-hmm. what, like I'm here. I am what I preach. I'm not saying, okay, Reyshan, this is what we do. And it's the only thing it works. There's no only thing because 8 billion people are all different. There is no one thing. There is no normal. What is normal? There is no normal. So you got to always think around the box and see that the process of going in the morning to the restaurant is a process of learning every day, everything. Be conscious, be aware. And then the time goes very fast. And also it's so enriching mm-hmm. and totally enriching, And the juggling of that, the brain loves it. The juggling of being static and looking at the order and then looking at the thing, talking to the kitchen, talking to that, it is the juggling that your brain loves it. Perhaps mine, especially because it's dyslexic. So
It's like,
it goes everywhere.
yeah. And you get all the experiences. You're connecting with people. You're doing, quality
Yeah,
control. You're,
yeah,
you're seeing and smelling just all kinds of different things
yeah,
perpetually. And you're having
yeah,
fun with your fellow employees and with your
yeah,
customers. And everyone's just happy to be
yeah,
allowed to have the experience and share the experience.
yeah. And then you see context, because you don't just do kitchen. You see the context. As a leader, you need to be most self-aware to see the context. And it's all about people. It's never about the product. It's not about the thing. The product is good if the people, if I have a team that thinks it can do anything, trust me, the product is automatically good. There is no way the product can. If they all think they are superstars,
They're superstars.
they are superstars, because we all humans are. But if they're really treated as superstars, they will not. I mean, we had 130 covers with one cook,
That's
and
crazy.
we were laughing and making jokes. I said, "Oh, bring her in," and then he said, "I was tired yesterday. I had to sleep till 3:00 the next day." But it wasn't like, "Oh, I martyred myself," because what you see in kitchens, I was saying, they martyr themselves. They are like, especially,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
I mean, there's a reason that I'm not a chef is that there's just too many hours, too much dedication. It's basically like joining the military for yourself, right? Because you are going to put in 80 hours a week at first. You're not going to
yeah,
have a lot of free time to be with your family, right? You're basically just at work all the time, which is why I think a lot of the smaller restaurants, they have to force themselves to close on like Mondays or Tuesdays and miss out on money just because they need to somehow balance their lives. Right?
they should. I'm not for 7 days open. It doesn't matter how much money it makes. Because the balance of, I can't go every day in this restaurant. From a guest perspective,
Right.
it diminishes the feeling. These guys are not human. They're like a machine. They just want to get the cash. And then
Right.
obviously they're often in a place where it's so much rent, they have to be open. And
Yep.
it makes it impersonal because you have too many shifts, too many different people.
You don't have
And
time
then
to
you
rest
cannot,
your creativity. You start
exactly,
to get
all
worn
this
out.
stuff.
You start to get frustrated. You start to
Exactly.
get burnt out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bravo to all you chefs out there. Most
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah. And Monday, Tuesday, or whatever is the thing, close up.
Take your family
and
to the
because
beach.
because you will have a better product. The product is, the system always talks about the product, right? So if you want a good product, 24/7 open is not the way,
Mm-mm.
unless you make, McDonald's, like something that is machine made, that you
Right.
don't need a human for that,
That philosophy goes for anything that you do, or
everything. Yeah.
right? Every employee that you have for any
Yeah.
business out there, like if you can't run people into the ground if you expect quality, positive, happy employees. You have to make sure that their life is balanced. You have to make sure your business balanced. And the more you take care of those employees, and the happier they are, the better work they're going to do, the better product you're going to end up with, and the happier your customers are going to be all around.
Yeah, but if the system doesn't allow you to do that because of financial thing, it asks so much rent. It has to think. I mean,
And that's
we should
stressful.
never
That's
make.
so stressful.
It's tearing people apart, really, because everybody. And I tell you one thing, my boss never talked about how bad it is or anything, but the people wanted to all make it work, all the team, because they were so happy in it, and we all wanted to make it work. And we did everything to make it work. But it's just, when the system, this is something we need to think about, any system, because the worst food, what is the worst food? To go. To go is the
Mm-hmm.
worst food experience that you can have.
Yep.
Nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to talk about it.
I'll talk
But
about
I'm
it.
talking about with you. The worst food that you can pay is, number one, a pizza in a fucking carton. Okay? When a pizza comes out of the oven, that's the best pizza, not when it comes out of the carton. but we condition ourselves with adaptability, third superpower, that this is how a pizza needs to have a little carton taste. We eat thing out of carton. When you get food, and this funny thing is, it's even more expensive because you're paying for delivery.
Yep.
You're paying more money for which is, I think, a total failure.
I won't DoorDash. I did one time. I think we were sick, but I was like, I can't. It's never good. Never ever good. Like you're paying like 2 times as much because they have to raise the prices on the menu on the apps, because just in order for the restaurant to be able to afford it.
I know,
right? And then it's just so not worth it. I can't believe that people do it as much as they do.
Because they
never enjoy it. They get it. I've never seen them be like, oh my God, I got DoorDash delivered and it was like the best. Like it's never have I ever heard that.
We don't see the value in creation, because if humans would see the value in the ritual, I'm going to do a dinner tonight with my family, and we're doing this ritual that is generations in the human, that's in every cell of us. Mm-hmm. And we're doing that ritual. And we make it very conscious. We are very present of doing that.
I mean,
go ahead.
When I have business meetings, my favorite, I'll just invite people to my house and I cook for them, right? And that's so we eat and we have meetings, and I'm not DoorDashing the food. I'm not ordering pizza. I'm making something. So I want to show off and let you taste, I guess, my art.
No. We talk about sharing. We're sharing
mm-hmm.
stories. We're sharing food.
And it just makes for a better experience,
the experience is, if I would come to you and you would cook, that would be I wouldn't know the honor, because it doesn't matter who you are. But if you come and they said, listen, I did a little, not like I'm doing a 6-day thing, but I thought we're having coffee, and I made a little,
a little something, made us some sandwiches, made us
it's not about making a 7th course meal. It's about, this is me, and that's my hospital, and I'm welcoming you in my home. I'm welcoming you to come and be with me. And this welcoming is completely gone. It's like, hey, you are all that in this super restaurant. We have a Michelin star, and I'm not against Michelin. I think everything has its place, but everybody tries to follow it. So, and if they have a shitty restaurant, the location, they just make the unbelievable food to balance that. But it's not going to balance, because it got nothing other than filling my belly with a great taste. That it's really,
and the rest of the experience is lost.
Is totally lost, because it always should be. I think it should be really like a religion. When you are there and you remember you are a human being. This is a ritual that is very, very, there's no older ritual than this. Sharing bread, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That Last Supper. It's everywhere in the history, everything. And we should honor that, and just say, I'm not saying don't eat a sandwich at lunch, but when you have dinner or when you come together on the weekend or whatever, make it special. Not special in, I have the best tomahawk steak everywhere. I got that flown in. It is 18 years old or whatever, so aged, whatever.
Uh-huh.
You want to come, you want to get that feeling. You want to get in touch with that, because that's what we lost. Look at our world. We lost that humans are number one. We are part of nature.
We're not supposed to just stand over our desk and shove food in our face real quick and get back to work.
Exactly. Yeah. We also should be walking outside, swimming outside, not just going in a gym and just, I'm not saying it's against gyms, because in the wintertime in Minnesota, you need to go in a gym. But I'm saying gym is not the human thing. It's a distorted thing, because we don't tinker anymore. Mm-hmm. See, the tinkering. You have the CEO that works 60 hours a day.
The exploring, the adventure.
Tactile, you need to have experiential knowledge, not theoretical. And if you are in the financing systems or in the logistics systems or being a CEO of a company, you're completely detached from the worker that does that folds the T-shirt and the bottom.
Yeah.
From that experience, you are completely detached. You make 100 times more money than them, but probably the folder is happier than you.
Right. Yeah.
Because he has
because money is not happiness. Happiness
money
is
a
connection,
great tool.
creativity, and
Yeah.
and the joy of being.
Being in a moment and not being, I'm going to have that in the future. Because in systems, you always need a goal, right? In system is a goal. And then, and success is when you hit the quarter, when you surpass the quarter, when you hit the goal. But that is such a minimal experience, because the moment you hit the goal, guess what? The next
got
quarter is
another
coming.
goal. Yeah.
So, yeah. And so my only goal is becoming more and more aware by being in the moment, in the present with other humans.
The philosophy of now.
The philosophy
I
of
refer
now.
to it as. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And not just being, I want to be in the moment and feel my body. No, I want to focus also on my reflection, like you in this case right now. I want to focus on the reflection, and in the dance of our senses, what comes out of it. So that's the fulfilling thing. That's so fulfilling. And then when you talk, we could have talked. This talk could be really shitty about restaurant, right? Wine.
Sure,
it could be a wine fest. It could be a wine fest about how shitty it is, how hard it struggle, all masochists and thing, all the sadists in restaurant. But when you look at from a human aspect and says, what are we not seeing? What are we not, and then you reflect to it.
Where can we look
value
to?
creation.
Where can we look to find those better experiences, to reconnect with ourselves on that primal sharing of experience level? Yeah. Super insightful, Michael.
No, I was so looking forward, because I always look from a human and nature perspective, and I always remind myself, I'm a species of nature. I'm just a species, but we're not even saying that word. That sentence. I'm a species of nature. You're just another species. The eagles are sea sharper. They're bigger animals than us. We're just one species, and we're denying it because we grow up in a hospital, a system. Then we get baptized, is another system. Then we go to school, another system. So we have lost.
And somehow we're above
the restaurant
nature.
that we have today. The culture, restaurant culture, is we have lost the campfire. We have lost that because we think we still have that DNA drive. We think we still have that, the DNA drive to go to the campfire. Mm-hmm. But now we think the real campfire is in a restaurant. We could find it. We could have both.
Maybe you can open the Campfire restaurant.
I'm not opening any restaurant. No, I would love to. No, I could do it with somebody because I'm dyslexic. I can't do with figures. I can do the creative part. I can do the figures and the logistics. I can taste and run and do everything. But because of my dyslexia, neurodiversity is not an excuse. It's just, not everybody can do everything. That's another lie system.
All right, we'll partner together and we'll go open the Campfire restaurant together.
Yeah, we gotta make the experience of restaurant
together.
We need to be exemplary. We need to make these archetypes, reinventing these archetypes that we actually born with and ingrained in us. We need and make the people aware. It's great. I think if we get like I'm working on art, I'm giving. I said if people feel always poor because of the system always wants more, it works on a lack. Mm-hmm. You can never see the richness. If money is your motivator, and I love it. Like I said to waiter, I said if money is your motivator, then go in the financial system. You have nothing to do here. If you don't like what you're doing here, anybody that likes money the most
should just go be a banker.
Go in the financial system. If I would like money the most, I would be a financial juggler. That's all I would do. I would be in a bank. If I love money, and the people are so detached, they think they love money,
Mm-hmm.
because they
But
think
money
they can
can't
buy,
love you back. You know what I mean?
and it can buy you fulfillment.
Nope.
It can buy you that feeling of fulfillment and joy. It just gives you jolts of it. They cost tremendous, and then you lose all the money because I would like a Ferrari.
And now you jump off the top of a roof because money was the only thing that you had.
Yeah, and you thought you get it. You were conditioned, like we are conditioned, and we lose us. It's nobody's fault, but we lost like I said in the restaurant, we lost what it's all about. And we're focusing on the better the product. I mean, look at the stuff they do with food today. There's such an art. That is 100 artists live in the in the kitchen industry, food industry, because they said I can't sculpt, but I can do avocados in patterns, and they do it, but then it becomes a copy. You want to do one sculpture. And then you want to do the next sculpture. That would be the right,
You don't want
You
to
don't
keep
want to
making
do
the
a
same
sculpture. They're all
every
the
day.
same sculpture every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's the drive away. When we went to, that's the drive away from, because that's not fulfilling. That's boring when you keep repeating. And we talked about this every day, the same stuff. But when the awareness is bigger, then you don't care if it's the same stuff, and also you don't have to have a huge palette, you don't have to make a Cheesecake Factory menu,
right?
Yeah. But they're run as a system. Menu. They're run perfectly. They are run perfectly as a system, as a system. It's a system restaurant. It's never gonna be that, the welcoming,
home, the home away from home
stuff. They just want to pump out menus. And not experiences. And I think there's where you want to buy a product like a car, an iPhone, and there's where you want to do, an art gallery or, going. It's the religious experience. It's an experience.
Do I want to text you or do I want to sit down and have lunch with you?
Yeah.
Right. Like one is very cold and just not really connective.
And the other thing is we can't connect anymore. So we are so intimidated. If I would meet you in person, right?
Nah.
I wouldn't have a problem. No, I wouldn't have a problem. No, I know we do. But I would, because our senses tell us we would. We know that we would work. But the thing is, a lot of people are intimidated by system status, by system, oh my God, this is the greatest thing. This is the thing. And then they don't want to meet that, or he is successful and I'm not. And we're living in a system where everybody lies about their success. Because if success was a formula, then everybody would be successful. It's very arbitrary. If you prepare, you can prepare only for success. So when it hits, then you can do it. But when it doesn't hit you, it doesn't hit you. And you can do it over and over and over again.
So my TV show, right? Like I made it just because I wanted to, right? It doesn't make any money. Like I am not rich off of that. Like I probably spent money, making it just so I could make it. And it's out in the world. And I can, regardless of money or its success in any way, shape, or form, I'm happy and proud that I went out and did it regardless. Yeah. And then you move on and you want to go make something else. So you're right. I guess I am an artist.
And I mean, I wrote 5 books and I made $60 on a thing. And I say that because I want people to wake up.
It's about the joy of creation.
It's the joy of the stuff that I can speak to you like that about restaurant is because I wrote 5 books about creativity and art.
All right. So where can we go get your books?
Amazon, like there's only one system and it's, I'm not fighting it. We are all at Amazon.com.
I will find all your books.
You go just to MichaellM.com. I have one hub and you find me everything.
Michael M.
And by the way, we need to hook up on all the socials, you and I.
So
we can cross promote this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll have all of your social links in the description down here. So you can all go check out Michaell M. You're going by on Amazon?
Michaell with 2 L's. MichaellM.com.
MichaellM.com. MichaellM.com. Cool. Michael, this has been super inspirational. I really appreciate your viewpoint on the industry and super positive. all the way through. Just, just
no, we can do it anytime. We can do it anytime.
Oh, I'd love to hang out again.
Yeah, I really want to wake up all hospitality businesses that there's way more that they're not seeing. It's like the artists, they see the product, they don't see the magic in the process. And I think we have shown here how you can endlessly unearth all that beauty that is in creation. And when we focus on that, we feel rich, and then the money is the symptom of it.
Mm-hmm. Which is where all your food is coming from, is from the earth, and the dirt.
Yeah.
So we should appreciate all that more. We can get into that a lot later because our soil is in question.
Probably dead. Yeah.
But otherwise, Michaell, thank you so much for being here. This has been a fantastic conversation,
Welcome.
And I look forward to hanging out with you again very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Cheers, my friend, and have a wonderful day. Stay creative, and we'll talk soon. Cheers, everyone. Go watch my TV show. Go watch my TV.